2026, new year, new me. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that says that every single year, repeating on. And I've noticed a pattern. I don't really change whenever it comes to being more financially responsible. And I've actually managed to change that in these past few months. And I don't have to worry about looking at my bank account wondering when's the next time I get paid and thinking to myself, oh, I need to stretch like $50 from today to the next 4 days or whenever I get paid. I've listed 5 things that actually help me out responsible that actually help me out financially, and I'm going to go down on all 5 of the tips that I listed down on my notes. All right, number one. Number one is actually learning the difference between wants and needs. A lot of people, whenever they purchase something, it's more of a want, such as, let's say, a car. I'm not saying a car is not a necessity, but like a fancier sports car, like let's say they get themselves a Bugatti or something like that, something expensive, or they want the new Hellcat SRT. And I admit they do look nice, but you gotta live within your means. And a lot of people mix up needs with wants. And need is something that you absolutely need to live, such as, uh, let's say here, a house, like paying your rent or paying your mortgage. Let's say insurance that are legally required. Let's say utilities if you rent, and of course own a house, and just food. And a lot of people get this mixed up with just let's just saying like buying a luxury apartment or purchasing a nicer house that they quote unquote qualify for that they cannot comfortably afford. And it really saddens me that a lot of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and I was once in that same path. I didn't know anything different, and the biggest outlier or biggest thing that I've noticed between needs and wants is that a lot of people get it mixed up, and it should not. Let's say let's see here. It it shouldn't be the biggest cause of your debt, or other words, yeah, just debt. Because a lot of people get themselves into debt trying to maintain this lifestyle that they cannot afford when they know better, but they want to upgrade their lifestyle because they think they have this crowd to impress when you really don't. No one's When you think about it, no one's really watching you like that, and if they are, I hope you prove them wrong. So, number one, learning the difference between wants and needs. You don't really need that brand new car. You can buy cash used cars. And I believe this, I will always buy a used cash car just because having no car note is really the best thing for you. You don't really have to work a certain job, or you don't really have to, I guess, make sure like be desperate for a job is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to be desperate for a job. Let's say if you lost your job and then you had like $1,000 car payments. I'm pretty sure the average car payment is 700 nowadays. 700 a month is completely insane to me, guys. I know I'm 20, but just hearing that is just insane. $700. That's about, for majority of Americans, about a week or maybe even a bit less or more. A week, let's just say a week to 2 weeks of pay. And that's actually insane to hear because it's insane to hear because I don't I don't have that, and I'm blessed. But a car note is the biggest thing I will never get. Mortgages are a bit different just because you are building equity whenever you buy a house. And I believe it is one of the biggest ways to improve your net worth. All right, so let's jump straight into number two. Paying, learning how to pay yourself first. A lot of people, whenever they think of paying themselves first, they mean like they think they think like buying themselves like nails or like a nice haircut. I mean, obviously it's nice to have a nice haircut, but They think of things like that don't earn money. Like, have you ever heard of the saying, like, I wouldn't know how to put this together, but just money earning money. Your money works for itself, is what I'm trying to say. A lot of people don't invest in themselves, and I believe that every American or every single buddy in this universe should invest in themselves. What I mean by that is just putting money aside just for your future. You don't have to always live in the moment. I know a lot of people have this mindset of just YOLO, you only live life once. I'm gonna go and live it out anyways. I'm gonna go party, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I'm not associating parties with being bad, but it does waste a lot of money, and I'm sure I'm sure there's a lot of people that have this, oh, live your 20s and party and do this all that, and oh, lock in whenever you're 30s and settling down. But nowadays with this economy, I feel like that's not true. That's really not possible to do anymore. You need to start thinking more financially responsible even when you're 20. I just turned 20. It depends on when this video is uploaded, but I'm currently 19 recording this, but it really depends. Uh, let's see here. Investing in yourself is just what I was saying earlier, just investing in your future. I mean, like, this is one of my points later down in the video, but starting a high yield savings account and starting a retirement account as a 401k or a Roth IRA. A lot of people my age do not do this, and if you are one of those few young people around their early 20s, even late 20s, sometimes even early 30s, if you invest in a retirement account, that is awesome. I'm great to hear that. And let's see here. Paying yourself first. There's a lot involving this, all right? A lot of people don't want to pay themselves first because, as I said earlier, they want to live their life. And that is completely fair, but you should learn how to recognize your future, you know? A lot of people nowadays, maybe even including me, like, we feel like we're not gonna beat inflation, or the economy's gonna keep rising and rising and it's never gonna stop. Which may be true. I can't predict the future and neither can you, but the best we can do is prepare for it, you know? You shouldn't spend all your money right now and just hope that something good happens to you. You gotta start realizing, like, you gotta do it yourself. Putting money inside in your Roth IRA or high yield savings account is one of the best things. If you do not have a high yield savings account, I would get one immediately and put an emergency fund in it. An emergency fund is, of course, an emergency fund, and I recommend putting 5,000 or 10,000 in your emergency fund. And some of you guys may be asking, what is a high yield savings account, and what do they really do? So what a high yield savings account does is just, once you put your money in the bank, you know how you put your money in your bank in a savings account and it barely gains interest. Well, high yield savings accounts actually gains more interest. The one I'm with is Discover. Just because I have a credit card with them, uh, I chose Discover because of that. But Discover has a high yield savings account at 3.5 AP. I think it was APR, APY. I'm sorry if I forgot, but what it does is just gain interest over it. So let's say I have like a few $1,000s in it, and then every month I get an interest added onto that account. So let's say like I have this certain amount, and then every month I get $10 added onto it. And then what it actually does is the $10 of interest goes back into the account and it compounds more. So it'll just keep adding interest over and over and over. And of course, I'm putting money in my savings account because it's my emergency fund. So it just keeps adding and adding and adding. And that is really how you gain your wealth. You do not put all your money in your checking account, and I advise you not to. All right, number 3. Number 3 is actually, I'm not sure if it's popular yet, but I was thinking of this and it really snapped to me, and I'm sure other people thought of this, but what really what really set me apart, or like what really made me realize like dang, I need to become more financially responsible, is just having this concept of equating how many hours you work to the money that you for like the item that you want to purchase. So let's say like, oh, I want to buy this $30 keychain or wallet. So whenever you usually buy something, you usually think like, oh, $30, that's nothing. I got it, dude. But what I actually started thinking was, let's say I get paid 15 an hour. Uh, I'll work 2 hours just for $30, and that's not including tax and everything that comes after it. That's not my net pay when I take home. But let's just say theoretically that there's no tax and I get paid $15 per hour, so I work 2 hours for 30. And let's say I try to purchase that wallet. Let's say I try to purchase that wallet for $30. I don't think, oh, it's only $30. I think I start thinking, oh, it's 2 hours of my hard work. Do I really need this purchase? And when I look in my pocket, I was like, oh, I already have a wallet. I don't need this nicer wallet when mine perfectly works fine. And that really saves me a lot of money just from everything, especially bigger purchases like let's say like $800 camera. I don't really need like the newest and most expensive or like the most luxurious cameras, or for example like maybe the phone, iPhone. Apple releases iPhones every year. You don't really need the newest and biggest feature or newest biggest phone. And once you really start thinking about it, you think like iPhone nowadays are like $1,000, and that is actually insane. I right here have an iPhone 13, and I've kept this thing for like 4 to 5 years since I was I think it was a sophomore or junior to high school, and it's actually insane to think about because $1,000 is actually a lot of work. For a lot of people, that's like 1 week work or worth, and that is insane. So whenever you buy that new iPhone, you need to think to yourself, dang, is it really worth 1 week of hard work? Just working towards it just for this one purchase? And that's really what set me aside from just upgrading to the new iPhone 17 instead of just let's say keeping this phone. All right. So I really just kept this phone even though it's breaking down on me. The battery's dead. USB port doesn't even work. I have to wirelessly charge it. That's why I have this no case. But I actually really like this color too. Anyways, that having that concept of money, how much money you earn an hour to work and whenever you purchase things, really closes in on purchases that you want. And going on to number 4, as I stated earlier about paying yourself first, is starting a retirement account. I would say 401k is the best retirement account that you could do as an, let's say, employee. Obviously, it differs if you're a self-employed person. I'm not too sure about that because I'm not self-employed. I work at 9 to 5 like you guys. If anything, I work more because I work around 50 hours. I wake up, well, I go to work at like 7. My shift starts at 7. I usually end whenever the job gets done. So starting a retirement account is the best. 401k with employer match is the best thing you could do. It's basically free money. I'm sure you heard that a lot from people, and maybe it doesn't look good on your paycheck once you start like investing into a Roth or a 401k, and you see that like, oh, $60 on my account on my paycheck is it's just gone. Like it feels useless. But what you should think is, oh, I'm investing in my future. Whenever I retire, I'm gonna have millions and millions of dollars invested already because whenever I was young, I thought of myself in the future. And a lot of people my age don't think of that yet, which actually is surprising because with this economy, I'm sure you would think that more Gen Z people are like more financially aware. And I'm glad if you are, but if you don't have a 401k, or if your employer does not offer a 401k, like Like, for example, my employer does not offer 401k. So I actually started a Roth IRA. I did not even know about this until a few months ago. And I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm an expert at finances. I'm still just your regular guy. I just work like you guys, sleep, have my hobbies, but investing in a Roth IRA has been one of my greatest things that I've done. And I use this app called Fidelity. I'm sure you guys heard of it. This green app, blah blah blah. And I have a Roth IRA and a brokerage, but I have not invested in my brokerage yet because I need to max my Roth IRA out. And how it works is you add money from your bank account straight to the Roth IRA and you invest something in the Roth IRA. A lot of people actually don't know this, but you actually have to invest in the Roth IRA. So you don't just put the money in the Roth IRA and just expect it to compound. When in reality, you actually have to invest in something. So what I actually invest in like an index fund, and let's see here. I invest in the S&P 500, and let's see which one I actually invest to, because there are different index funds for it. And for Fidelity, I use, all right, actually invest in FXAIX, which is something that tracks the S&P 500. And I'm sure you guys may or may not have heard of that, but S&P 500 is index that tracks the top 500 American companies. So you may be asking yourself, like, what do you mean by that? Like, what? So let's say crypto, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys heard of crypto, like Bitcoin, stuff like that. So whenever you invest, let's say in crypto, like you invest in Bitcoin, typically you would only invest in that thing. Like once you invest in Bitcoin, it's only Bitcoin. But for something like S&P 500, you actually invest in all the 500 top U.S. companies in the nation. So, and I'm sure you guys are worried that, oh, what if like Amazon like goes down, like somehow Amazon goes from the top to the very bottom. And I'm sure you guys are worried about that. And I was once too, but I realized this after some research. It actually puts the money away and then reinvested it in the next top 500 companies. So let's say Amazon, or let's just use Toys R Us as an example. I'm sure they were at the top one time before all the online purchases. They were once a top store. Every kid wanted to go there, even myself included. I wanted to go there and buy toys. But once online shopping occurred, Toys R Us just went straight down. And of course, the owner filed for bankruptcy and yada yada. But what I'm trying to say is, if that comes down, something has to go up. So whenever it comes down, something has to go up. Same with the economy. Whenever it goes down, it has to go up. A lot of people do not understand this, and they're scared of investing because of this. And I won't lie, I understand you guys. I was once that person too. I was really scared of investing whenever I was let's say 18, 17, 16, because I was like, oh, if I lose money, it's gonna be this. And I used to dive into crypto because my buddy and I, we actually were, I guess he was more a heavy crypto investor than I was, and he made a lot from day trading and crypto. And there was actually a lot of gains that he did. And one thing that he told me to do is invest in this, and I actually did, and it actually rose. And I was actually surprised to see that, and I was really happy until the day it crashed. So the thing about crypto is that it's really unpredictable. So one night it'll go like, I mean, I don't know, it's just straight down. So that's really what happened to me. So at nighttime, I checked the market, it was perfectly fine. I mean, once I slept and I woke up, basically all my money was gone. And the thing was, I was really sad about it. I was like, dang it, dude, I'm gonna just withdraw all my money and just cash it into my bank account. I'm not investing it again. So once I told my buddy about that, he was like, yo, you should not do that. Like a lot of people A lot of people do that, and it's not a good thing because why should you invest in the first place if you're scared of losing money? The thing about it is, whenever you're investing, you should be. I wouldn't say you should accept that you're losing money, but you should be like aware that sometimes you're gonna lose money. But it's not always a losing game. And that's what I failed to realize whenever I was 17, 16, 18. And crypto is one of those things that a lot of people, it's like a get rich quick scheme. I personally do not do it anymore, but I see why people are addicted to it. Same with day trading, and let's say even sports betting. That is a big thing in the NFL. There's a lot of sports betting in the, let's say, NBA. A lot of people bet on sports, and that's without a doubt true. A lot of people, let's say, invest into that. But instead of that, I personally think they should invest in like something more stable, like uh back to the index funds or just stocks. Day trading is actually one of those things that you actually need to focus on, and I just don't have the time for that because, as I was saying earlier, I work like 50 hours every week, so I do not have the knowledge of that. And if you do, keep on day trading because I know a lot of people that want from it, that actually want in life from it. And let's see here. Oh yeah, the Roth IRA is this year has changed. All right, so the previous limit has been $7,000 for contribution limit, and this year they actually raised the prices, or they actually raised the, I guess you would say price or limit. They actually raised the limit to 7,500. And you may think to yourself like, "Oh, 500, that's not even that much. 500, man, that's nothing nowadays." Because you know how a lot of people say like, "Oh, 10,000, that's not even a lot now." Like, "Oh, you can't even do nothing with that." But 500 is actually insane. It's a lot of money. And you may be thinking to yourself, "Lucky, why do you think that?" Well, whenever I think of it, it's compound interest. And you can gain a lot from $500 from the compound interest alone over decades. So I'm planning to max out my Roth IRA this year. I'm sure it'll be hard because I am moving out, and there's a lot that goes into moving out. I'm sure my older viewers know this, but maxing a Roth IRA out is basically my main goal. And I have a lot of other plans too, but that is the biggest one want to hit because that means I am investing in myself, in my future. That's really something that I thrive for. I don't I don't really try to see here. I don't really try to spend unnecessary money on like stupid stuff, I guess. Everybody has a different perspective about stupid stuff. Like I don't like drinking, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't vape. Like a lot of people my age think that's stupid, but I personally find it better to invest my money in something that will work for me, like working for myself, like money working for money, instead of just wasting it for just a temporary time of fun. And a lot of people around my age fail to realize that, but I'm just not one of those people. And yeah, I'm sure everyone has different views on it, but that's just what I think about it. All right. Last thing is it's kind of stupid, but I'm sure if you guys haven't known this already, I'm sure you guys will. If you guys haven't figured this out yet, but I don't know. I don't know why I put this, but the fifth and last tip that I would actually say is just save your money. You really need to go save your money right now, dude, because a lot of people do not invest or do not even save money for an emergency fund. They say a lot. I forgot what exact percentage is it, but a lot of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and I don't think you want to be one of those people. You do not want to be one of those people that live paycheck to paycheck. I'm not hating on those people that live paycheck to paycheck. I was once there. I was a stupid kid. I used to just spend money on whatever. Like I really started noticing work. Like I really started noticing and checking my finances once I got my W-2 for my first, I guess, real job. So I checked my W-2 and I was like, dang, I earned this much money. I earned that much money. Can you believe it? I don't think to myself like, I didn't think of myself like, dang, dude, I got hella money this year. Nah, I thought to myself like, damn, where did all my money go? Like it says my W-2, I made this much. Yeah, of course I paid taxes and stuff, right? It's like, oh yeah, yeah. But I really thought about it. I was like, dang, I really should have had all this money. But I just spent it all on unnecessary things such as eating out or just spending money on delivery stuff or just convenience stuff or like entertainment. So I'm not really a big guy in entertainment for some reason. I don't know why I don't watch it a lot, but the only thing I really watched was just Squid Games, I guess. And I bought a Netflix subscription for that. So buying subscriptions is actually one of the biggest things that a lot of people do not track. So let's see here. So let's say you get a gym membership and you don't use it at all. And a lot of people do not like I was once there. I mean, I'm not some big buff man, big macho man. I'm barely like 150 right now. But I just started getting back into the gym because I realized like, dang, if I'm not gonna use it, why even have it? So I just started going there. And let's see here. And yeah, that's I think that's all I have for you today. Sorry for the short video, but thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you.